To the Honorable Chief Prosecutor of South Sulawesi, Deputy Chief Prosecutor of South Sulawesi, Assistant Prosecutors of South Sulawesi, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. Today, we gather to reflect on the role of the Prosecutor's Office in combating corruption. In 2025, Indonesia's Attorney General Office handled a sharp rise in corruption cases, including over 180 finished level cases in just the first half of the year. Major national cases also shook the country, such as the Pertamina corruption scandal, with losses over trillions of rupiahs, and CPO export corruption recoveries receding to trillions of rupiahs. Ladies and gentlemen, numbers like these are not just statistics. They are silent letters from the future. If the future could speak, would it applaud us or fear us? To the honorable judges, respected teachers, and my fellow students, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
My name is Silmi from GRX1 Sungguh Minasa. Thank you to the Provincial Attorney Office of South Sulawesi for giving us, the youth, a voice. Today, I present a message entitled, If the Future Could Speak. Ladies and gentlemen, imagine the year 2045, 1 century of Indonesia's independence. We picture fireworks, proud leaders, dreams fulfilled. But imagine instead a future not of celebration, but disappointment. A future where young people stand in unfinished hospitals, study in broken classrooms, and lose jobs to those who pay for them. A future where talent is ignored and dishonesty is rewarded. How would you feel if your dreams were stolen before you could even chase them? Corruption does not break windows or shout in the streets. It steals quietly. It steals opportunities, dignity, and hope. Money for students becomes luxury for someone else. Budgets for hospitals turn into private bank accounts. And worst of all, corruption steals trust. And when trust is gone, the future becomes weak before it is even born. But here's the truth. Corruption survives, not because it is strong, but because good people choose to look away. And this brings us to a question our generation must answer. Will we look away? Will we pretend we don't see? Will we accept injustice because everyone does it? Or will we be the generation that finally says enough? Around the world, young people our age are already saying it. Students in South Korea track public spending. Teenagers in Kenya build honesty clubs. Indonesian youth reveals illegal school fees and demand transparency. None of them waited to become adults. They did not wait for permission. They acted because they cared. Ladies and gentlemen, in South Sulawesi, we were raised with Siri dan Pace. Siri teaches us to protect dignity. Pace teaches us to feel the suffering of others. So let me ask you, if corruption humiliates our nation, where is our Siri? If corruption hurts students and parents, where is our Pace? If you truly honor Siri dan Pace, then staying silent is not an option. Silence is betrayal. Silence is complicity. So what can we do? We are only students, right? But listen closely. Corruption begins long before someone becomes a leader. It begins with small choices. Cheating on a test, paying for shortcuts, choosing unfairness, ignoring unfairness because it is not our problem. These small choices grow into habits, and habits follow us into power. Before someone steals millions, they first learn to steal small things. Honesty, truth, responsibility. That is why integrity starts now. Not when we are older, not when we get jobs, but in the quiet moments no one sees. Returning what isn't ours, telling the truth, choosing fairness even if it costs us. These small acts are seeds, and one day they will grow into a future that refuses corruption. And we are not alone. We have our voice. When we speak, when we question, when we unite, silence loses its power. As my father once told me, if you learn to fear the truth when you are young, then you will fear it forever. So let us not fear truth. Let corruption fear us. Ladies and gentlemen, imagine 2045 once more. But this time, imagine schools full of life. Imagine hospitals that serve with dignity. Imagine leaders who rise because they earn it, not because they buy it. Imagine a generation that does not just dream of justice, but builds it. A future that does not whisper in pain, but speaks proudly. We were valued, we were protected, we were built with integrity. And if the future could speak today, it would not ask us to be perfect. It would ask us to be brave. Brave to be honest when lies are easier. Brave to care when others ignore. Brave to speak when silence feels safer. Because our worth is not measured by medals or grades, but by the truth we defend and the future we refuse to let be stolen. Ladies and gentlemen, let us rise as a generation that does not just demand a clean Indonesia, but creates it. Let awareness become courage. Let courage become action. And let action build a future that can finally speak with pride. I am Silmi, standing with integrity, standing against corruption. Thank you for your attention. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.